I would like to procure the bag.
I wanna be a rich bitch. Penthouse doorman, money, 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 rich bitch. Hey, give me that bag. Rich bitch. Yes, you're so rich.
Pay me.
Oh, man.
right.
Okay,
Well,
wow.
Maya.
Maya. That's
Throwback.
really
Throwback.
recent, really up to date. We always call
Up to
ourselves,
date.
we're current. We're obviously so current. It's crazy.
We're just like finger on the pulse, pops culture, princess queens.
Poppies.
Princess Poppies. What a week. I'm exhausted.
I'm so tired. I think I aged 2 years, but you know what's going to happen? The holidays will bring me back.
Oh my God, you're going to be
I'm gonna become a
refreshed and
baby.
replenished. I'm looking forward to coasting for the next month and a half.
Yeah.
Worky things are just going to be kind of like calm.
Yeah.
With holiday.
My industry's settling down too. I don't think there's really anything to, other than some bookings here and there, but it's not like what it was, you know?
For sure.
So.
Well, I mean, listener, welcome to another episode of I Want to Be a Rich Bitch. Sarah, this week, how have you been a rich bitch?
Okay. How have I been a rich bitch this week? Well, we always talk about like not just money, but how to holistically, you know, manifest things that are good.
Embody rich bitchiness.
Rich bitch behavior. And I have been dressing up. I've been showing up. I've been in bougie places. I've made myself like, the holiday season to me, Christmas especially, is so invigorating that now that New York is becoming a winter wonderland, I'm doing really fun extravaganza things, like going to cool bars that are like, it's Christmas, drink this bougie eggnog and get your life, you know?
You know, I love some eggnog.
Me too. And
I know it's not
there's
for
vegan
everyone.
eggnog now, which is amazing. It tastes exactly the same because it's so schmegnog. Schmegmanog. No.
Schmegmanog.
Grab a nog.
That sounds oddly dirty.
Sounds disgusting.
Schmegmanog.
Sounds filthy. And
Filthy.
I'd drink it.
Yes.
So yeah, I've been doing a lot of things that kind of are enriching my life. I also feel like too, I'm reading books about wealth, but also about health is wealth. So it's like manifesting, going to bed and being like, everything that is coming to me is for my greatest good. It is for my health, my wealth. I am growing exponentially, not only as a human being, but I'm growing wealth-wise. I'm growing. My health is a wonderful, because typically, to be honest, like there's this whole mentality that like being sick is normal, or like having a problem is kind of normal, when in reality, we should all be feeling great. So let's manifest that, babes.
God damn.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel like that's never been something I've been, because like as a woman too, like every month we're like, you know, it's like, but also like, I don't have to be like that. There's ways, there's things I can do to feel my best all the time. What am I doing for my health to feel just awesome all the time? Because being sick is not the normal program. The program is to feel great.
Absolutely.
So that's where I'm putting my mindset.
May we all follow that trajectory for 2024.
Yeah, wow, that's coming.
Girl,
Thank God.
can't.
2023 needs to be.
She has been a fucking
She has been.
cunt.
She's old yeller. We need to put her down. I love her to death. And I want to manifest that like it's total wash, but like it isn't. So many wonderful, quote unquote, difficult things have happened this year. Life-changing things have happened. Hard, difficult, life-changing things. Struggles. But, and people's mental health, you know, has been on the worst. You know, there are events, you know, I've also been thinking too, and we'll get into why you're a rich bitch just a second. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like take this from you. But showing up has been hard for people. I've gone to things where like before the show up ratio was gigante. And now it feels like it's like people are just like, no, I'm good. I just don't want to do it. Because the mental health situation is not good.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of us need a little bit of time to recover from the last 3 years.
Yeah,
is it burnout or is it just like
I am? I'll speak for me. I feel burnt out.
very, very same. But collectively, I don't know if it's burnout. I think it's just kind of like not debating, but I guess weighing what's worth it and what's not.
Right.
So that we don't get burned out.
Right.
It's the whole like, I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that.
Right.
How
No, I
is
get
this-
that.
How is this enriching me now?
No, I love that. See, I love that though. That I like.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that's good for you that you know this would probably help somebody who's going through a hard time.
Yeah.
Isn't doing it. I think it's because we are all on that precipice of either being burnout, almost burnout, I feel like, and that's okay to get burnt out. Let's be real. Who wouldn't be burnt out with the news, with the strike, with the, I mean, to be honest,
survival, trying
mental
to get
health
day to
epidemic.
day.
And not to get super dark, but I think I've lost in the last 2 years 4 or 5 people to suicide that I know very well, or that my boyfriend knows, or there's a family member, or there's a da-da. And I think we need to be aware that it's been a really hard time. And I think what I love about this time of year, and to some people it's very hard too, so I know that's a privilege to feel that way. But what I love about this time of year is it slows down.
Yes.
And we need to take that slow down, and we need to be okay with it. I'm fine with it.
Well, and also this is going to be the maybe second year in a row where like this time of year for me is a slowdown.
Right, because you were doing gigs.
Before this was the nonstop time of year.
Right.
You hit Christmas week and then it is a ghost town until
Yeah.
spring.
Yeah.
And I hated living that existence. It was so difficult because you get into this really unhappy, like scarcity mindset of like, this is all the money I'm going to make until spring.
Right, because
And
you've
so
got the
then
gig
you,
work,
like-
yeah.
Right. And so then you just kind of squirrel away and hide for like, you hibernate for a couple months.
Right.
So I'm glad to be out of that. And that's probably how I've been a rich bitch lately myself.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, have you been a rich bitch?
So we have our 9-to-5er. We love.
do. Yeah.
So grateful. So I cannot stress enough how grateful I am for this. And it's really given me a throwback Thursday moment to when I was 20 years old doing the same thing. Because the holidays around this time of year in this environment are super chill. Like weeks of nothing.
Yes, God.
And I can feel myself being a little bit burned out just from all the changes that have been happening over the last 2 months for me.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But like sitting at my desk and just being like, you need me to book a flight? Oh, no problem. Happy to do it.
Love that.
And how much are you paying me to do this? Even better.
Even fucking
So
better.
like that on top of also getting back into, and I know these are two juxtaposing statements, but getting back into like, that's what work is like. And it's just very chill. There's only 3 or 4 people on my whole team in my whole department.
Wow.
And it's very camaraderie and nice and communicative. I'm an over communicator in a workplace, and so are the people I'm working with, which I love.
Love.
And I don't view it as micromanaging at all. It's
No.
just like, this is what I want. This is what I need. Great.
Didn't we find
This
out
is what
last
I
time
want,
your
this is what I
Mercury was
need.
also Virgo?
Yes.
That's that Mercury's how we communicate, and Virgo is the biggest communicator.
Perfect.
There you go. Sorry.
There we
Just
go.
Keep going. Sorry. I'm just like, me too.
I
Why
need
is
the
that
star
the same?
charts.
Oh, and then I'm like, oh, it's the same.
I need
Yeah.
the star charts of all the people I work with.
Yeah.
But then also leaving work and rushing home to do a podcast interview,
Yeah.
or to take a meeting, or to meet with you and Sasha about pilot TV series bookie things, and like it's been every day this week. I leave work, I come home, I have a meeting. I leave work, I come home, I interview on a podcast. I leave work, I come home, I have a meeting and a podcast.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And especially this time of year, I love it because I don't feel like I'm missing out on going out anywhere.
Right.
It's cold. I don't want to be outside.
Yeah.
So like, except for today. Today is like 50s and
We're
the
so
sun
excited.
just
We're going to go
broke.
be bougie. We're not going to say where because stalkers.
We're just
and
gonna be
creepy people.
bougie.
But we're going to be bougie. We're going to go out. It's
Yeah.
going to be great.
We love. But it's just it feels good again. I think I've said on this podcast before that I relish being breakneck busy.
Right.
And so even though my work day isn't like busy in the traditional sense that I'm talking about,
Sure.
which is like running all over the place and doing errands nonstop and going from place to place to place because you're needed, I still get to like leave work, come home, be expected to be on a Zoom somewhere for
Right.
something that I'm doing.
Right.
And it really is what I anticipated and what is now showing itself to be true, where I get to have the best of both worlds. Where
Fab.
I'm making real adult money in corporate world.
Yeah.
And then I get to come home and there's still plenty of time for me to sit around and be creative and bang some pots and pans and make the things that I want to make.
Yeah.
And it just feels like again, we've talked about this. I wouldn't go back and change a thing because my life would be a totally different life.
You'd be a
and
different person.
I'd be a different person. But it really is kind of like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. If you're a creator and you're making things, get the 9 to 5, get the money.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And it feels good. It's cathartic to have like the expectation of the day roll out, being like, I know exactly how today's going to go. I'm going to be at my desk at my little decorated cubicle with my higher up management people. And then at 5 o'clock, I had to close my laptop and go home and then talk about what I want to do.
Shit. Yeah.
It's been wonderful. I've had great meetings all week. We both have.
Yeah.
Together and separately.
Yep.
And it just feels right. The balls are moving in all the right directions,
I agree.
which is forward.
That's right. And I think I agree with all of that. I mean, I think you found, and I think it probably was the best way for most people to be creative. And I think you found the path forward.
For me.
Yeah.
And
for most people, I think though too.
I agree. I don't want to speak for those people, but I
think
said
that
this
is
ad
a
nauseum.
quicker way of having funds faster and be able to do it. Like I had to create my own business and then do other stuff to do it.
Right.
And work in ways that then I created, like I have a list now of people that I can just, I don't know. There's other ways to do it, but I think what you're describing is the most clear, is the most, this is the way to get a good 9 to 5 where you feel not like on edge all the time, get one where you feel supported and you're in a safe space and you like where you're at. And then you can take that money and make amazing things.
Yeah. As soon as I pay off some of this credit card situation.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Right. But that'll happen. It'll happen faster than it would have if I was still gigging.
Oh my God, yeah. It would not happen very fast.
Fuck.
What would happen?
I mean, that's what got me into this.
Hello? No, but I think you found your path forward. And I think that's to me, I'd say a good percent of the populations that are creatives, instead of being worn out at a bar, instead of being worn out at certain things, which we both have done before.
Yep.
I did it for a short period of time in my early 20s, and it just is not it for me. At no tea, no shade, because there's some dank ass bartenders who are like making so much money and are happy. That's fine.
Facts.
Love that. But I think for creatives, I want to take away the shame, and we've talked about this, of having a 9 to 5 while being creative. I think that's so dumb.
Well, I don't think it's so much shame. I think it's more scarcity and fear.
Yeah.
I don't think it's shame per se, because everyone that I've told about this job has been like, oh,
Work.
Like straight to the top, bitch.
Right.
Which is what I do.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
think
it's someone
more
working
so
another
like,
thing that's not creative to whether, because
Right,
that's
but-
been a historically
and
thing
to-
that
to
people
that
feel like,
point-
oh, what are they
you're
doing?
giving up.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's dumb.
No, I think it's scarcity and fear, because they're like, oh, well, if I'm not doing what I want to be doing 24 hours a day, then that's not who I am.
So
It's
not
like,
true.
no. Are you a bartender?
I'm sitting on a couch right now talking to you. Am I not an actor because I'm talking to you right now?
Right.
Like,
Well,
what?
and I don't remember who this video was, but you don't have to be actively acting to be an actor. You don't have to actively be writing to be a writer.
Right.
I can say I'm an author even though I'm not actively writing a book right this second.
Yes. Right.
I have two other ones started.
Yep.
But I'm not doing it right now. That
Right.
doesn't mean I'm not a writer.
Right.
So it's just kind of getting over this mentality of like, you have to be available all day, every day to do the thing that you need to do to have your existence be what you want it to be. And that's just not true.
That's not true.
And thankfully I have found myself in a place where I feel safe and taken care of.
That's amazing.
And I love everybody.
Good.
And I just am I cannot stress how grateful I am for it.
That's amazing.
It's the best. I'm so happy.
I'm very happy for you. I'm so
you.
happy.
So that's how I'm a rich bitch.
Yeah, that's great. That's also incredible.
Listener.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said about that. And I have to, I'm speaking to myself, by the way. When I say like we need to learn how to slow down and then take that time.
Girl.
Hello,
Hello,
Sarah.
Sarah Seeds.
Sarah Seeds, chill the fuck out. And I've been good at it, especially when it comes to my family. When I'm with my family, it's like the rest of the world. I'm like, just back away.
Yeah.
Because I have the thing where I'm very far from them. So when I see them, it's a few times a year, maybe. And I need my time with them.
Yes.
Especially with my mother, and my dad too, because it's like, these are human beings who I've had so much time with, and my time that's left with them isn't long as I'd like.
Yeah.
And
I think about that a lot.
I think about that all.
I hate it.
Yeah, I think about it not as much as I used to because I've tried to be like, well, if I'm thinking about it, I'm not really actively with them right now. So let me just not be obsessed about that.
Yeah.
But doesn't make it not true. And as someone who has a mother who's battled cancer twice, the second time it was stage 4, it's very, very important to me to spend all the time I can because I got a wake-up call when she was sick, especially the second time, that I might not have time with her that I needed and wanted, that I thought I just had. And I think it's extremely important. And I think that's what's helped me during the holidays really disconnect from the industry, really disconnect from all the things that are asked of me, because I know they will happen. I do all of them. But I think putting that boundary, I even had a meeting yesterday where they were like, so when do you want to talk about this, or we'll do this part of this thing, or this, whether it was an op-ed, whether it was a pitch deck, whether it's a acting thing. And my response was always like, I will be gone from this day to this day, and then it will be there. But until then, she's out.
Yeah.
And I've had to be like that because I think it's very important. And I think we all need that.
I try very hard. I try very hard when I'm at home with family to not be on my phone.
Yes.
Which is hard to do.
Oh my God, it's very hard.
And this year I'm fortunate enough that I'm in a situation where I'm allowed to work remotely.
Good.
While I'm there, which is great.
Yeah, Mike's doing that too.
Yeah. So it's kind of like not gonna happen. It's gonna happen as much as I can make it happen. Certainly like Thanksgiving Day.
Oh yeah.
Don't talk to me.
Don't.
You know,
and the day after usually, and
the day after is the one I'm working.
Oh damn.
But it's not like I'm gonna have to be chained to a desk or anything. Everything comes to my phone, so I'll be able to see it. But, you know, the whole time with family thing, I think that's something about the holidays that bugs me the most is like, I had a very fortunate childhood in the sense that my parents were together. There were really no problems that we were at least aware of.
Right.
And we were always close to grandparents. So we had Thanksgiving dinner at grandma's house where the entire family was there. Every year.
Me too. Yeah.
We had like the pizza Thanksgiving at grandma's house. Like it was so fun because like nobody wanted to cook. So like, and that was only half the time, but it would rotate. So like if it was at this grandma's house one year, then we would get the pizza. If it was at the house the other year, it was full turkey regalia. And so like we had those traditions as a kid growing up, and in the more recent years, my parents have like done the order out Thanksgiving dinner thing.
Great. We get Whole
Foods,
Foods.
Which is wonderful.
There's a vegan version and then a non-vegan version, and we just get it, and it's delish.
There's a place that my dad plays gigs at. My dad's a singer, songwriter, musician, whatever.
And that's great. Hi, big fan.
Hi, big fan. Hi, Dad. Called the John Wright in Pennsylvania, and they do a full catered Thanksgiving every year. It's like $150 or something like that. It's not a lot of money. Yeah. And we've done it the last couple of years, and this year we went to do it, and they were sold out already, like way farther in advance than they normally are.
Do you guys have Whole Foods? They're just unreal.
Probably like 45 minutes away. Yeah. But we've already decided we're going to be cooking, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to make bread. I'm going to make my famous bread.
Can you document?
Of course I will. My parents are going to be making the turkey. My grandma's making the pies and the sides, and we're all just going to contribute. But what makes me sad is that even though I've had this really fortunate foundation of like family Thanksgiving, family Christmas, as you get older, siblings get married and they move away and they prioritize their spouses' families over you sometimes. And like, me being a single gay man in my mid-late 30s, I'm excited to go home and see my parents. Yeah. And I really I just have had to accept over the last couple of years that the family Thanksgiving, the family Christmas where we're all together, it just isn't, it's not a thing anymore. Yeah. My little sister lives in Florida. My older sister lives in Maryland. And, it's just kind of it's a really big ask to be together for the holidays. And, this year my parents talked about coming up to New York for Christmas, and we would just like forge new memories and do that. They did that the year before shutdown. They came up here.
Christmas.
Yeah. I took them to Rock Center to see the tree. They'd never been. We saw a Yiddish fiddler. We went to dinner.
We've done the Thanksgiving at Little Italy. My whole family came up and we did Thanksgiving in Little Italy.
Oh, fun.
It was phenomenal.
I wonder what Christmas in Little Italy is like.
The meal of the whatever fish is. I'm sure it's incredible.
Oh my God. Okay.
Every
I'm
holiday
gonna need to
meal.
research. Listener, if you know of any good holiday places for for me to take
I
my
can tell you right now.
very conservative parents,
Yeah.
not very conservative, but just like they don't want to go to a club is what I'm trying to say.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that. Please
Da
drop
Janeiro.
it in the comments
If anyone's
because
ever
I
been
need
to Da Janeiro, that's the gold-plated, gorgeous indoor-outdoor. Of course, in winter it's not indoor-outdoor, but it's like gold glass, and it's gorgeous. And we've been there for Thanksgiving as a whole family. Delicious. And we've been for Christmas Eve for my mom's birthday. We went last year, and it was
fun.
stun.
I know my friend Mary went to that restaurant called Robert in Columbus Circle. That's like the top floor of the museum.
been there twice. Yeah, I
I've
love
never been.
Oh,
It
it's
looks
great.
amazing.
I think the food was pretty good, but the views were really what we were there for.
Right. You're not paying for the food. You're paying
No.
for the view.
Whereas in Little Italy, the food
Fuck.
is like, oh my God.
Stellar.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I just need suggestions, listener. So drop them in the comments.
Yeah, drop them. Tell all of their suggestions.
Give them to me. I will do them. I will document. I will report back.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing because I've had to navigate that now. Me and Mike have been together 3.5 years, and I think we've done a good job navigating who's like what's family, like what family were we with for this, you know. So my parents came up for Christmas to New York last year instead of us being separate, and then for Thanksgiving, his whole family's coming down to Virginia. So
amazing.
we're making it all happen.
Yeah.
And I think it's important because, yeah, it's like you're saying, I don't want to feel that energy of like, I'm not seeing my family and he's not seeing his, you know.
Yeah.
But it is each other's fam, right? Like we are each other's families. I truly believe that. Harriet is me New York mom.
She's such a star.
She's my Greek mama, you know, like for real. So
Yeah, but it really is. I understand when people are like, "Oh, the holidays are so hard for me." I'm not like,
oh yeah, I'm
I'm
sure
not, like,
for some
drunk-
people that don't have family
Totally.
or like had a tragedy,
absolutely,
or,
and I'm not like drunken suicidal
or
in the
terrible
corner.
family that
Right,
you hate. Of
but-
course, you hate the holidays. Of course.
But like that is my version of the holidays are hard because I really wish that we could just have everyone together like
Yeah.
we used to.
Yeah. If anyone's seen that episode of The Bear, the Christmas episode of The Bear is a great illumination of why some people don't go home for the holidays.
I've not seen it.
Oh my God, that show is amazing.
Wait, we talked about this. Do you know what I'm watching right now?
No.
Rewatching
What?
United States of Terra.
Oh.
I just started season 2 last night.
Oh my God.
First of all, such an easy watch. Did not remember that the episodes were only 25 minutes.
I know.
It's like you fly through
Shows
it.
have gotten so long.
Yeah.
That like when something is 20 something minutes, when we used to just be like, that's what it is. It's so cool.
Yeah.
You just, like, glide right through.
Toni Collette is
oh my God, Toni Collette.
is Australian Meryl Streep.
100%.
100% I've decided.
You're right.
The way that they wrap season 1 and the episode of her in the recovery center and her deciding to leave.
Yeah.
Oh my, because she goes like a situation happens where she confronts the person that she thinks is the reason why she split into these personalities.
Yes, the altars, yeah.
And then all of the altars come out in succession, and the way that she maneuvers through that, not only physically, vocally, and just like the way that her
energy.
eyes change. Oh,
What a
Toni
gift.
Collette is a gift. I also saw last night when I was Googling it that it was 3 seasons. I thought it was only 2.
I've only seen 2.
I've only seen 2 also, but Google said 3. So
I have to rewatch now, and I have to get Mike to watch it because
he's never seen it.
no, and
Which is
it's
insane.
insane because Toni Collette, we all appreciate her. No one in
Love.
this household is not aware of how he saw Hereditary, and he came to me. Hereditary, yeah. And he came to me and he was like, "Toni Collette, my God."
Yes.
And I was like, "Yes,
We've
I know."
known. Since Muriel's wedding. We've
Literally,
known.
she has been
It's Mariel.
Mariel. Mariel. Yeah,
Full
she's a great.
spit.
She's great accent
She's
work.
brilliant.
Great
Oh
accent
my
work.
fuck. But this show, I mean, there has been nothing like it ever
No,
since.
no. United States of Terra is so underappreciated. It's so, but you know, it's one of those shows that anyone who's ever seen it is like, oh my God, that show. No
Yeah.
one is like, it's all right.
Well, and also, aside of one thing which I will address, it has stood the test of time. It translates really well.
Right.
They have a gay son. The way that they handle that
I
is
know. It's so
brilliant.
great.
I will say it is probably the whitest show I have seen in a
yeah, it's
long
very
time.
white.
There is like nary a person of color in sight.
Yeah, that's a mess.
They finally add one as the gay neighbor's partner in season 2. But
Okay.
but it was the first. It was like watching it. I was like, wow, this is just the whitest casting you could ever ask for.
It is.
But the story lines of all of the characters and all of the alters are nuts.
Oh my God.
And the way that she tries to pinpoint it. And then in the end, this is a spoiler. So if you haven't seen
spoiler,
it,
guys,
like,
please don't be spoiled because it is an amazing show and
It's
I
an
don't want you
amazing
to be spoiled. So flip ahead like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe not 5, maybe just like 2.
Okay.
But anyway, so like they're in the rehab center talking to the guy that like assaulted her.
Right.
And they're piecing things together, and as they're talking about it, all of a sudden one of her alters comes out. T comes out, who's like this 15, 16-year-old girl. And she starts spilling the tea, and she's like, that was my night, and you did that with me. And like, blah, 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 blah. And then Buck comes out, and he's like, if I was there, I would have grabbed you by the balls and ripped them right off. And then T comes back, and she was like, it wasn't just you. She was like, it was your friend Michael, too. And his dick was huge. And that really beat me up. And then he was like, and then they started fucking each other. And the guy's wife is there, and she's like, what?
Yeah,
and
truly.
he's like, oh my God. And they like have to leave.
Yes.
And T is just going off,
saying all the things that have happened.
and like the way that she switches between, and like Alice comes out and T comes out, and it's just like, what the
realness.
fuck. And I also forgot, because the thing that sticks with me is the way the series ends, which is all of them sitting in the truck driving away.
Yes.
And like the new ones that they've added.
Yeah.
But then the way they end season 1, I totally forgot, is them, all of the whole family in the bowling alley.
Yes.
And then they're all sitting around her.
Yep. Talking. Yep.
And just like hanging out.
Just hanging.
Doing the thing.
No, it's really well done. I remember that shot.
It gave me chills last night watching it. I was like, I forgot.
While all of her alters are just around while she's with her family. Also, like, what a dope family.
Dope family.
Because, yes,
that daughter,
it's hard.
the agency that daughter has, and how she goes to that like chain restaurant's HR.
Yes.
And they put her down, but they're like, you seem like a young woman who knows what she's doing. And she's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
And the whole time I just kind of wanted to be like, your manager's over 18 and you are 15.
Right.
So just say that part.
Yeah, just say that.
Like, I don't know. That was another thing that I was like, the test of time would not have, like, that company would have settled.
Yeah, that company
They would have been like, here's a check, don't speak to us ever again.
Well, it is of the time, truly.
100%.
I mean, it's not like, so the reason it stands the test of time is because it's good. And it's real emotions
It's
and human,
so
and it's
good.
going into things that people don't discuss, and it's raising awareness for the DID personality, you know, all that stuff. But what's really interesting too is like even the stuff that maybe wouldn't fly now, that's how it was then. So in Middle America, that's how fucking shit flew.
Yeah.
Like people wouldn't say something, or people would allow that behavior, or people, because I can't imagine, you know, those two cunty bitches like seeing her at the mall and just being like, you getting better? Like, fuck those hoes.
There are some like weird like female friend dynamics that I feel like would not happen now.
Yeah.
But hopefully, but I mean, just she is. I think this is one of the shows that I needed to revisit sooner.
Yeah,
and I think next is going to be Pushing Daisies.
Oh yeah.
Because goddamn.
And 6 Feet Under.
I've never watched that.
You should watch it.
Aren't there like 7 seasons of that?
I don't even know, dude. I only saw like some of it, but it really impacted me.
One of my favorite ones was Nip Tuck.
Oh yeah.
I had the DVDs for that.
Well, I saw I think for Nip Tuck, it kind of got to the point to me where it was like, are they, and this is not their fault or anything, but are they creating a problem by having this show, or are they making a good show about something? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, can it be both? I think that show was just next level.
That's true. One of my favorite drag queens was on it. So
Willem?
Yeah.
That was my introduction to Willem.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
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 But like there was a period of time, and the reason why I know Willem at all, because I don't really follow drag, is from that show. And also there was a period of time where they were like the quintessential trans person in shows, even though they're not a trans person.
Right.
They're like, who is a palpable, reasonable human that we can make?
Yeah, they're just a cross-dresser who loves what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked at the time.
And we're back. Sorry, we had like a moment.
Technical difficulties.
I think it got bumped. I have no idea what's going on.
But as I was saying.
Yeah. At the time, right. At the time, Willem is not trans.
No. And now that
At
would
least
not
not to
fly.
my knowledge at this point.
And now that would not fly. There'd be a whole
Yeah.
outrage about like
Sure.
hiring a trans actor, which wasn't a conversation back then.
Sure, and it wasn't a conversation. There were
At
no
least not that I was aware of. I was like a teenager, so
right. Well, we were little baboos when this came out, but also I think too, it's like this was somebody willing to dress and be outside the binary gender spectrum at the time. You know, everyone was like, women wear dresses and men wear and this is like how this works. And here's Willem being a fab crossdresser and having a character that's so prominent in a show that people were watching. And I think that's
that
the
show
win.
I completely agree.
Yeah, that's
and
the win.
I will also say something about United States of Terra too, that like, you know, the brother's like not out, but he's out, but he's not out. And there was a moment where his friend says to him, like he's in love with like the super ultra pastor Christian boy kid.
Yes.
And they like have a thing and whatever. And his girlfriend, his female friend, says, just be careful because I don't want you to end up like crucified on a fence in the middle of nowhere somewhere. And he looks at her and he goes, too soon. And I was like, oh my God, that's a Matthew Shepard reference.
Oh my
And
God, you're right.
I didn't even pick up on it.
Wow, I didn't either. I was like,
When it
oh,
happened.
what's too soon to talk about Jesus? LOL. I thought that was the joke.
It was
And then-
Matthew Shepard. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Wow.
And I was like, what a placement. What a subtle, tiny little
See, I
placement.
didn't even get it at the
I
time.
was
Now I would get it, but
gobsmacked on my couch.
now
like,
if I really saw it, I'd be like you're doing. I'd be like, oh shit.
yeah, it was like a big moment. So like, again,
Wow.
a testament to the brilliant writing of that show. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Flo from Progressive's in it.
Is she?
Yeah, season 1. Bunch of times. She's the one who's like, make the cakes for the thing. She shows up at the mall. That's Flo from Progressive.
Stop it.
It is. It's her the whole time.
I didn't even.
Oh, I knew immediately. I remember when I saw it the first time, she just
Stop
booked the
it.
Flo from Progressive commercials. And I go, is that Flo from Progressive? Oh, yeah. Good for her.
Wait a minute. I'm looking this up.
Yeah, do it.
Because
Look it up.
I literally watched it yesterday.
Yeah, I'm shocked you didn't notice. That's fucking Flo from
Hang
Progressive.
on a second. Wait. United States of Terra.
Uh-huh.
Wow, that is not the word united.
Unit that did it.
United States of Terra cast.
I do love looking back at things and seeing like, oh shit, you were in this? Fucking love that.
Wait, where's Flo from Progressive?
She's in it. I just watched one of the episodes and there she was. It's when they're doing the bake sale. I think it's episode 1. She's in episode 1. She's in the next one at the mall. She's one of the women.
Oh, she's like a tiny little bit part.
Yeah, but she's in like a couple episodes.
Oh, hang on a minute. All right, hang on. I'm gonna have to.
What?
Brie Larson,
Well,
obviously.
Doy. Just look up who Flo from Progressive is and then like see her. But she's in it. And there's a
Andrew
scene-
Lawrence. He's the Christian kid.
Yeah.
And then Valerie Mahaffey. I know her from Desperate Housewives.
There's so many great people in this.
Viola Davis.
Yeah.
She hasn't come in yet.
Yeah.
I
remember her character,
episode
but I don't
1
want
of
to get
season
into
2.
it. But I remember her character.
I'm not seeing Flo from Progressive. What is her actual name? Do
I
you
don't know.
Okay.
Just Google what Flo from Progressive. I just saw it and I was like, oh, there she is. I knew she was in it. And when it came out, I knew because that was when she first got the contract.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I will not vet. I will figure this out later because I don't want to take up our time figuring
it's
out
fine.
who Flo from Progressive is.
Well, I want to give her flowers. So, like, let's see. That actress.
Stephanie Courtney.
Okay.
Stephanie Courtney. Let's look at early life and education. No, we want to look at filmography.
I can type terribly right now.
It's not even listed on her Wikipedia. Oh, wait, that's movies, television. 2009,
Yep.
United States of Terra.
Yep. Told you.
Wow.
Yep. I knew immediately. So she was on screen. I was like, and there's Flo.
Interesting.
Yep.
Stephanie Courtney.
There's actually a clip of her on YouTube of her just being in it. I watched it the other day.
I'm gagged.
Yeah.
That woman has to be rich as fuck.
She's so rich, it's crazy. She's actually richer than you could ever even imagine. She's richer than she owns an island now. She
owns an island.
Yep. She's so
done
rich.
a lot.
She's so rich. That's my point. It's like we don't talk about all the other shit she did other than Flo from Progressive. Well, though, good for her. But my point is that she is getting it.
She only did one episode.
Let me see. Let me show you. Maybe it was the pilot, but
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm about to find the clip. I found
That's
it.
so funny.
Yeah. She is literally, yeah, here's her at the mall. I found it.
Oh my
That's
God, you
just one.
found it.
The main one is the cake one, but this is not the one I'm finding. Anyway, guys, we love it.
We're fucking around so bad with this.
I know. I need to read it. See? There she is.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yep. Yep.
That doesn't even look like her.
Yeah, but it does.
It does. It does, but it doesn't in the sense that like we're so used to seeing her with like the bob and the bright, like whatever. So yeah. Anyway,
she looks like a
anyway.
real
Sorry,
person.
listener. That was just something that needed.
Well, no,
to
I just think
happen.
it's fun. I think it needed to happen. Yes, I think it's important. People need to know the Flo from Progressive was on the United States of Tara, but also is an actress and all sorts of other things.
in so many other things.
Yeah, and I think it's like one of those things where it's like people are like, oh, I bet she feels, and they're wrong. They're like, I bet she feels like, oh, pigeonholed because now she's Flo Progressive. I'm like, baby girl, she's a multi-millionaire now.
She is
She owns
feeling
an island.
pigeonholed in her multi-million dollar.
Wah. She is having the best time of life because now in the commercial she barely has to do much.
She doesn't have to do anything.
I know.
It's all. I also felt that way about like the Dell guy and the Verizon guy.
Oh, I know the Dell guy,
Do you?
Ben.
I know
He's
that
wonderful.
he was like booted off of whatever for
Oh, let me talk about Ben. Yeah,
marijuana use, and
Yep.
then he was on Broadway for something.
Yeah, and he was in a play with one of my friends, and then I got to know him, and he's wonderful and beautiful and gorgeous.
Yes.
So Ben is wonderful.
He's
was
like that quintessential early 2000s
dude,
look.
get Adele. Yeah.
Dude, you're getting
like,
Adele.
Dude, you're getting Adele. And also, like, when you see him go, dude, get Adele, don't you think he probably smokes weed? Are any of you surprised?
Right.
Shut up.
That's kind of what the character's modeled after.
Yeah, Ben Curtis is his name. He is fab. I met him when he did an off-Broadway play. I can't remember. It was the Theater of the...
Theater in the New City.
Yeah, like that. I think it was
Downtown.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was there. And I went backstage because I knew a bunch of the cast, and then he was just kind of there. And we really hit it off. We hit it off at the premiere I was invited to, and then we just were kiki kaka. And he is just someone who's been through so much. Can you imagine being that young and that much pressure
He was
on
like,
you?
what, 16?
He was a baby.
He was a baby.
And you're the face of an entire, one of the biggest at the time brands of all time. It was right when personal computers were like a thing. You know, he was the face of Dude Get Adele.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most successful marketing campaigns of all time. People talk about it still in like marketing classes.
Because it was brilliant.
It was so brill. To have an everyday dude be like, dude, just get Adele. You know, like it was like they got it. And he was such a New Yorker too. So here he talks about his story about how 9/11 happened while he was living here and what that did to him psychologically, what the firing did in terms of like his marijuana usage and how he felt like that was so overblown. And
It totally
obviously, it's like he's like doing crank in the alleyway. It's like,
It's not
bro,
like shooting
chill.
up on a commercial
I
set.
know.
Like, oh, God.
And he was still doing his work. But what sucks is that leaked that he had smoked marijuana. Like, it's so dumb. When I say this, I feel like such a stupid Karen even saying
Like
this.
he was smoking.
He was smoking the
the
reefer?
devil's grass.
Baby, it is legalized now. I wish the poor man. I wish it was not, I wish it was like that for him then. But whatever. We're puritanical idiots.
Bullshit.
We're so stupid. I fucking can't. Anyway, that was something that came out. They fired him openly. It was very open and it was
remember.
dehumanizing.
Yeah.
And he had to rebuild himself. He had to decide, like, what do I want to do with my life? Because I lost the biggest thing of all time. And I'm still here, though. Duh.
Legend.
Legend. And he's like, lived in New York. He lived here during 9/11. He's such a New Yorker kind of dude. Love him. And now he runs a yoga, male wellness, everything in like Costa Rica. And he has a Gorgina at the time. I don't know if it's still the way it is, but Gorgina wife who is all there for his mental health advocacy. She's the co-creator of all the things that he does. And he just is a gorgeous human who still acts here and there because he is still very good at acting. He's repped well, I think. And he will pop in and do things here and there, but he's just like, yeah, now I'm all about wellness and mental health and men being open about how we can be vulnerable. Let's stop being like, I'm a man.
Yeah.
You know,
well, and that also reminds me of like Matt Gorey from How to Get Away with Murder. Yes. He has a whole platform that talks
Isn't
about
he
that.
from Orange is the New Black, is how I know him.
He was from that too.
Yeah,
but
that's how I know him.
But he was like a guest star on that, and then
Oh, he was a big part on that. He was dating one of the inmates.
No, I
and it
know.
was
But I mean,
huge.
to me, like How to Get Away with Murder, he was like
Oh,
one of
right.
the
He's
stars.
like the one of the Bills.
Because I remember
cast.
watching that and being like, oh, it's the guy from Orange is the New Black, and then I started following him on Instagram and I followed his whole thing.
For sure.
But like he had a very public like weight gain thing that people came after him for,
Right.
And that's kind of when he just started this whole conversation. Because honestly, I think he looks better, bigger.
Yeah.
Most people do.
He looks good.
Because he looks like he has eaten recently.
Yeah.
And
How dare he?
how dare he? And I love following him and listening to what he has to say. He does book recommendations for men's health and emotional intelligence, and like he's just such a great.
Yeah.
I've never met him, but he's on my list of people I want to meet.
Yeah.
We love.
Yep. I think he is phenomenal. I love how he presents himself on social media. I love the causes he's for. We co-sign across the board.
Rich bitch
behavior. So I think there's something to say about the male machismo toxic.
Oh, it's so terrible.
It's so terrible. And I think that Ben, what we were talking about, Ben being get Adele being like the bruh, like he had to come to terms with like, this is a persona. This is somewhat like not really what I'm at. And I don't know. I just think he's really just come a long way, and we still message each other every so often. And yeah, I know him. I think he's phenomenal. It sucks that happened to him. And I remember being a teenager, little baby, like preteen, whatever it was, when all that shit went down, and being like so judgy. And I hate myself for it.
I really want to pin this on him, and I don't know if this is true, but in my mind, he's the reason why puka shells were a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Frosted
to be
tips,
clear,
and so Justin Timberlake, but
the gays did it first.
Oh, one.
That's how we knew who each other was back in the day. It was
the gays always do it first.
Frosted tips, like the little frosty pull through the cap hair, which I did, and puka shells. That's how we dog signaled to each other.
Yes.
And then, dude, You're Getting Adele came along with the little puka shell and heteronormalized it.
It did. I think there's a lot of things.
It's his fault.
It is his fault. Ben, how dare you? Not that you didn't have enough happen to you, but how dare you?
Right.
But no, I think there's something to say for that, because also like we steal from gay culture all the time, especially
Constantly.
Black gay culture, especially
Yes,
trans Black gay
100%.
culture, because a lot of the slang that we use now for things that I use are from those communities.
100%.
So, and I acknowledge that, but it has become such a nyas or hi or all that work, all the things that are coming from that thing are from the ball scene, tens across the board. All the things that came from that that's still now, by the way, balls are still happening. I was invited to one a couple weeks ago, and I really wanted to go. But my point is that we steal a lot of these things from the thing and don't cite the source. We're all guilty of that. It's just that I think we need to acknowledge that gays make a lot of the shit happen.
Yes, they do.
I agree.
And Black women.
And Black women, my God.
The center of the universe.
The center of the fucking universe. Every time I look at like voting and I see how many Black women showed up to vote, I'm like, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
They carried you asses. Like I remember there are specific elections where I was like, yeah. And then they're like, but Black women voted this way. 97% of Black women came through and voted this way. And I'm like, God, you guys just carry us all.
Honestly,
You don't need to be doing that so much. I'm sorry that Black women have had to, oh God, bear the brunt of so many fucking things, whether it's elections, whether it's how women are treated, whether it's speaking out, whether it's their bodies, it makes me sick about science. I love science, obviously. I think science is what we should use on medical shit. But the fact that scientists for a while were saying in this country that Black women don't feel pain. So they did multiple
even.
I know. That they experiments and all this crazy shit that they did because quote unquote Black women, no, they're strong as fuck, but they can feel pain, you dumb fucking idiots. I help. But anyway, United States of Terror.
So yeah, puka shells.
Fuck. It's hard not to get deep though when certain things are like so of the lexicon and
especially if it lights you up and it pisses you off and gets you, you know, gets your goat going.
It fucking grinds my gears. It fucking grinds my gears. Misinformation grinds my gears. Not citing the proper sources grinds my gears. Nobody's perfect though. That whole shit too. I hate virtue signaling.
Same.
Like I can't right now. Like what the things we're saying right now are things I'm actually impassioned about. I'm not here for you guys to be like, what a nice white bitch. Like, I don't give a fuck. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to talk about what the
What
fuck.
a nice white
What a
bitch.
kind white woman. Thank God she's doing that. No,
Episode
it's the,
title.
it's the
Episode
least
title
I
right
could
there.
fucking do. It's the least I could fucking do. Don't
What
fucking
a
pat me on the
nice
back.
white bitch.
Shut up. Yeah, no, it's always these people that tweet like, what if blah, 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 and blank, 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 blah, blah, blah. And then they disappear. And then they have 0 black friends. And then that's who they are. They've never met one. You know, a lot of Los Angeles shit. Love you. White women, come the fuck on. Live,
Just
laugh,
come
love,
the
and
fuck on.
your live, laugh, love, and your cursive, and you're running on the beach
Oh
with your,
no,
with
actually,
your wood shit.
wait, cursive. Hang on.
Talk to
Sorry,
me.
this is a full right turn.
I would love that because I'm going to go off and I'm probably going to trouble. So keep going. Stop me, please.
I saw
Uh-huh.
a TikTok, I believe it was, today,
Mm-hmm.
this morning, that was talking about how because of the education system cutting cursive out of the teaching
Mm-hmm.
things, that none of these kids have signatures. And so, like, their voting registration, their DMV, whatever, they have no way to sign it.
Wow.
They just write their name, which literally anyone can do.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these kids are having a hard time registering
Wow,
to vote or
that's
get
so
cards
weird.
or whatever because they don't have the ability to write in cursive.
Right.
Which
Wow.
is like something I never would have considered.
No, because honestly, I've been that person where people are like, did you know they're not teaching cursive in school anymore? I was like, yeah, who fucking cares? We didn't really need it. Like, I don't know why we care.
But that's why.
But that's why. Got it.
Signatures. How do you sign anything?
Because, like, to be honest, like, it sounded like a great, cute novelty thing. We're all writing letters to each other and we need to write cursive because cursive script is blankety blank, blank, blank. It's great to read it. I think if I was a child now, I hope. I've always been this kind of person where I want to know how most of the things and even the things that maybe aren't in practice anymore, I don't want to feel left out of the gig.
I couldn't wait to learn it.
No,
when
I
was
think
a
it's
kid.
great. I mean, I loved it because that was what we did. But I'm just saying, if I was born now, I feel like I would be like, you know, I want to learn a little bit of that script thing because that is
The handwriting that my old
that's
parents
pinkies
used.
up, babes. Yeah, I'm
pinkies
living.
up.
It's pinkies up. But to be honest, in a practical form, like that, a lot of people are like, can you believe they're not teaching? I'm like, yeah, I don't fucking care. I don't really use it to honest myself, other than
I love it.
to write my signature.
To sign.
Yep.
To
So
sign things.
I've been that bitch that I've been like,
I
cool
love it.
story.
I-
Let's talk about things that matter.
I
I get it.
I also LOL because, like, again, I do my little morning page. It's one page. It's a one pager now because,
okay.
for time, but I'm doing it. With the exception of today because I stayed in bed too long.
Oh my God. I mean,
But like my
same.
handwriting on that is so bad.
Oh, it's terrible. I look
And,
like,
like,
I've had
I know my
3
dad is
strokes.
listening, and this is not to shade my dad, but my dad's handwriting is atrocious.
Yeah.
and it always has been. Even since I was a kid, I remember being
Was he
like,
a doctor ever?
No,
Okay.
not even close.
Never mind.
But I remember being like, oh my God, dad's handwriting is so terrible. I never want my handwriting to be like that because my mom's is pristine.
Oh, my mom's handwriting is awesome.
And mine used to be. And as I'm doing this like morning page writing situation, it's like there's my dad's handwriting right there. It's
right
coming
there.
out of my hand.
Papa.
It's like, what is this word? There's like 3 legible letters and then scratch between the
Yes. Yes.
I'm like, no offense, Dad, but no, I'm turning into my dad.
No, I'm doing the same thing. I actually thought that this is so weird too that speaking of genetics, it's so weird how like
Yeah.
things will come out and you're like, oh man, I didn't even think this could be a connection.
Right, I'm turning into my parents.
Like I write, you know, I feel like I'm not turning into my parents in a lot of ways. Like I'm really moving away. I think it's because I left like you and there's like a lot of things you're not doing. But also I think there's things too that like are unavoidable.
Yeah.
Like the handwriting. Me and my brother are like, our handwriting is atrocious. And if I tried hard, it looks good, but I don't fucking care enough to do that. So my handwriting looks like gutter trash. And me and my brother both showed our handwriting and it's almost identical, me and my brother's handwriting.
Oh my God.
Sibling identity handwriting.
wow.
And it's an amalgam of my dad's and a little bit of my mom's, but I think my mom's she's an art teacher, is so stylized and blocky and cool.
Of course.
When she writes letters, people are like, holy shit, who wrote this? Like my mom. It's like it looks like another language.
This is
it's
reminding
gorgeous.
You saying art teacher with your mom is reminding me of like back when we were in like middle school and high school. They had the gel pens.
Oh,
And like all your fancy handwriting with the gel
yes.
pens. Listener, if you are under the age of 30,
Yes.
you will not know what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
but
But back in
to
the
those of us
early
who are
aughts,
not.
we had these brightly colored gel pens that just were like luscious pen strokes.
Juicy.
They were juicy.
Oh.
They looked like lip gloss.
Oh, some
And
of
it
them
was
glitter.
like blue, and yes, the glitter ones, and the blue and the green and the pink and the yellow. And we would write our notes in high school and middle school in
Yeah.
our notebooks with these gel pens. And they were like
Jesus,
totally a
take the wheel.
thing. And so
Satisfying.
I'm like having a very clear memory of like maybe 7th or 8th grade with the gel pens.
Do you remember the ones too that would write on like black paper?
Yes.
Like the blackboard
Yes,
version
yes,
of it?
yes, yes.
No, not really. It's not chalk. But
it was dark.
Like,
It was like iPhone dark screen before.
oh,
before
yes.
that was a thing.
Android has dark screen too. But yes, it's iPhone dark screen.
Yeah,
but my point is.
Androids don't count.
Yeah,
so-
but don't count. Never mind. We have green text. I'm so sorry. I hope we all, we should all go somewhere and hide.
Yes.
Shame,
Shame.
Khaleesi. Oh no, it's Cersei. But anyway, my point is exactly right. Like that fucking gel pen movement.
And it was like one of the things that made me excited about having good handwriting because it was so pretty.
Oh no, then my
and
handwriting
brightly
was
colored.
pristine because I gave a fuck.
Yes, it was like the modern day quill.
Yeah.
But I was also the asshole that like had a quill.
Oh, I didn't have a quill.
I was like I had a briefcase the first day of school. I had a raccoon
God,
hat.
you're so gay.
I was such a
I
piece of shit.
love how gay and
And
flamboyant
actually,
you
it
are.
makes me. I was thinking about this in the shower the other day.
That's so much.
Being in the shower is innocuous, but like,
Yeah.
I was thinking about there's this picture.
Just know that though.
There's this picture that my parents took of me on my first day of preschool.
Yeah.
I had this black, red, and white striped polo shirt on with my little brown briefcase in front of me, and I was smiling. And I just was thinking about it. I was like, that was the last time that I didn't know any better.
Wow.
In the sense that like I went off to school and I got made fun of.
Yep. You thought
and
you were.
I thought I was good to go.
Yeah.
And I
You
got
didn't
there.
think anyone would ever be mean to you
People
for the
didn't-
stupidest fucking reasons.
People didn't like me for no reason. I got beat up. I got treated like shit. I got called
that.
names. And I was thinking about that. I was like, that was the last time that
Damn.
I felt a particular way about myself. Now, I don't know what that particular way about myself was or how it felt or whatever, but definitively from that moment on, everything changed.
You weren't exposed to the evilness of.
Right, because I had
children.
my parents who were present, my grandparents who were very active in our
They
lives.
supported you and your choices and your clothing choices and who you were.
Yes.
A lot of us didn't have that.
We
I had
played
that.
dress ups. My mom had all of her old dresses that she made for herself in high school, which she made for herself because she was tall and there was no clothing for tall
what
women
an
back then.
icon.
And me and my sisters would put on all of her old homecoming dresses and like run around the house and she had one that was like a purple silk. And I would put it on and I would just spin around and watch the fabric go around me because I thought it was so pretty.
Heaven.
But then that became like a shameful quote unquote thing to
Yeah.
do because I went to school and I learned what being gay was.
That makes me sad.
And we grew up in the middle of fucking nowhere surrounded by farms.
You would have been the kid that I would want to talk to
Yeah.
because I was immediately like, oh my God, I love this person.
I was in hiding for most of my life.
Yeah.
There was also something I heard the other day. I don't remember. It was probably, I always pretend like I don't remember where it was. It was TikTok.
Okay. I heard this thing on.
I don't know where
on
it
this,
was, but it was fucking
on this
TikTok.
network.
On this thing, hang on.
Clock.
Was it,
Oh no, TikTok.
is it an article I read? No,
No,
it was a
it's not.
TikTok.
It's a video
It was a
from
TikTok.
somebody
When I
in
say
front
I
of a
saw an
green screen.
article,
Okay, yeah,
it was TikTok.
Yeah.
But it was talking about how
She was 12. Keep going.
queer people, their first dance, their first kiss, their first crush, their first is mired in trauma because like you go to that dance, there's no one there for you. You go to homecoming and you're on the court, you're not winning. The person that you're with is not your person. God. The first crush you have, that's not
They're not
returned.
into that.
They're not returned. And it's just like every first that you have that is exciting and new and fun for the heteronormative binary people
You're right. Yeah.
is mired in trauma for the rest of us. And I was like, wow, that explains literally everything about my whole life.
You're like,
wow.
Well,
You said,
I was red.
You said the quiet part out loud.
you said, hi, you're the problem.
I am the problem. It's me.
That's sad. And that's, I want that to be different. And I feel like we were making steps to make it different.
I think it's different
I think
now.
it's different. It is different. I don't know if it's like 100%. It's not better.
Of course, it's not 100% better, but I feel
it's better.
without knowing anyone who's 5
as
and
not
starting
a 5-year-old
preschool,
or whatever. Yeah.
I feel like the environment in which we are in now is inherently better and more
You're right.
progressive
Actually, you're very much
than
right.
it was when I was 5 years, because that was like
100%.
the early 90s.
I have friends that have like 5-year-olds now, and seeing their friends that are around them and whatever, it's so much more accepting. Kids aren't like, like they're just more like, that's cool. Also, it's New York, so
It's just a different animal.
different. And maybe New York was always
Talk
like
to me
that.
about farm
Like, is
country.
that kid dressed as an owl today for no reason? Absolutely.
Cool.
Love that fucking kid.
Love that for him.
Because even I was like, I wasn't particularly bullied, I don't think, until like later, and then I wasn't. But there was a time where I think it was like middle school era where we were transitioning and puberty was hitting us, and I went through a goth phase and then I got out of it.
Who didn't go through a goth phase?
But that was the time where I
Hot
felt like
topic,
mostly
bitch.
bullied, but I don't think it had, but I have the privilege of never was it about my sexuality or was it about anything, but they just didn't like me. But the thing is, when I was little, I went to a Christian preschool.
Oof.
Yeah. And there was like this whole thing where, I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast, we might have, where when I was 4, I've always kind of been a gal who dressed in guys' clothes and thought it was cool. It isn't really nothing to say about my sexuality. I am open-minded. But I've been about boys since the day I was, I remember being 4 and being like, that's my husband, that's
Same.
my other one, that's my boyfriend. Just being like, that was me.
Yeah.
I never was, though, one of those girls that, and this always creeps me out because as a girl who loves her dad, I never was like, I want to marry my dad. And I remember, like, do you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
And sorry if I'm shaming you because I was like, I felt like it was 80% of my class was like, I want to marry your dad because it's the only guy I know, my dad. But I remember being like, ew, that's your dad. I remember being 4 and being like, ew, that's your dad. No offense, dad, love you, never wanted to marry you. So
That whole
sorry.
culture thing is
that
so
whole thing
weird,
is so
too.
weird. I've never felt that way. I don't understand it. Even as a child, I was like, no, I feel like that's off. I feel like I want to like marry that kid, that boy. That's
Right.
my age, that
Right.
fucking boy. That's what it's doing for me. Not the old motherfucker that that had me. But like they were like, but they did say for pictures this year, and this is a Christian preschool, Presbyterian too. Dress to the person that you admire, And I greatly admired my father.
Mm-hmm.
So I came to school for school pictures in a tie, in a thing, because I felt like, well, you said dress as someone you admire. I can't even tell you the level of like people being like, not kids. Kids didn't give a fuck. The adults being like, oh my God, she's dressed as a boy for picture day forever.
It's
And
always the adults.
It's one of my favorite photos I've ever had taken of me. It's one of my favorite photos.
You
I was
peaked. You peaked at 4.
No, I peaked again. I peaked again when I was 8, and I was
keep
Philo
peaking.
Q Faxit in the Noah's Ark play at my church, and I was the antagonist, and I had more monologues than anyone else, more lines, and I knew how to hit the comedy bitch. And I remember I was like, I'm going to be a star. The minute I did this play, and basically it's Noah's Ark, and the only antagonist they could come up with because there's no one really
What's
stopped.
the flood?
Is the flood? That's the antagonist for the
Sarah
world.
played the flood.
I played the lawyer, so it's obviously very, historically accurate, as is the original story. But that I'm the lawyer who says that he's breaking all these laws and citations by building such a big ass ark. And my character's name was Philo Q Faxit. And at this time, I had cut my own hair into a bowl cut because I had chicken pox from my brother. And I just was like, I fucking can't do this. Also, everyone's passing to me at soccer now because I played with boys too. I was really good. And they were just passed to me. And I remember being like, oh, this short hair is working for me right now. So I kept it. And my character, Philo Q Faxit, wore a full suit. And one of my favorite photos of me is me as Philo Q Faxit. I found it the other day. Short-haired, full suit, giving power. Lesbian, for sure. And I get it. And I was living. And I felt so fucking powerful in that suit. I loved my haircut then. Now I love a long, just giving. I love big hair, long hair, don't care, makeup to the gods. Femme era. But I loved being Philo Q Faxit. And you know what? Everyone just got with it for that version because I was playing a character, but also because I made everyone laugh. And so I realized that I could dress as a pirate to school as long as I made everyone laugh.
There you go.
And it fixed it.
I mean, very similarly in that, queer people often have to either completely hide or develop a sense of humor.
Yeah, be self-depreciating.
Be the clown.
Yeah, be the
right. So like that was my journey is
Yeah.
how I became, self-deprecating
find
and
it.
funny as I am now.
Yes.
Because I had to figure it out.
Right.
It was a survival method.
Right.
But anyway, not to get too on the sad side of things, because we do want to have some festive
Oh, yeah.
moments.
To finish this out, because I think we did a whole 30-minute and then we bumped something and now we're doing. I think we're just going.
We're all over the place today.
No, but we are. But also, like, our episodes are just getting better. I'm getting a lot of great feedback from people.
I love.
Yeah, everyone's just like, no, I listened to this. You guys are seamless. It's great.
The tens and tens of people who are listening.
Tens across the board. Oh, how dare you?
No, but I love doing it. And I think we're great.
No, I think we are great. I know we're great. That's not really that's not really the question. So for holiday realness, love Thanksgiving, love Christmas.
We'll do a Christmas moment.
Yeah, let's do a Christmas right now.
No, in another episode.
Okay, cool. So for Thanksgiving, we're gonna gather with our fams. I'm very excited about, because it's America. So the decorations have already come out. Some things are already decorated. I cannot wait for the Rockefeller tree. She's Gorgina. She's from New York State, upstate.
Mm-hmm.
She's tall. She's giving face
Same.
and lights and festivity. She's giving it all.
Yes.
And I cannot wait for Mariah Carey to just be out and Unfrozen and singing her
Yes.
face off.
She's my favorite part of the year.
Oh my God. Yeah, all I want for Christmas is her.
All I want for Christmas is Mariah.
Mariah Carey has now become Christmas. I think she is Santa Claus now.
I think that's by
She's hot
design.
Santa.
It's by design. It's perfect.
Oh, the marketing is right.
It's always right.
She knows exactly what she's doing.
She does. I love it.
It's so camp.
And calculated.
Camp, calculated, and cunty. And everything
And
I want.
giving.
3 gifts. 3 C's. Camp, calculated, cunty.
Love.
I think that's the holiday spirit right there. That's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Camp,
In the name of the camp.
calculation, and the
cunty
cuntiness.
spirit. Amen.
Amen. By the blood of the Lamb, by the blood of wine.
Well, I mean,
That sounds good to me.
you're gone all week for Thanksgiving. I'm
Yeah.
gone half a week for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
I love you. I can't wait to, after this, get a massive cocktail in my mouth,
in my mouth,
in my big mouth,
big stupid dumb mouth.
dumb gaping mouth. Yeah.
Well,
Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Let's go do that. Let's go put some money on the table at the bar.
Money on the table. Give me alcohol. Bye.
You're so rich.
Pay me.